Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the Free Think Dojo. And for today, I have a Call of Duty World at War Zombies gameplay for you guys. As you can see, I'm taking a stance here on Noctur Untoten. And I thought I would put out a new zombies video for you guys because the first video that I had on the channel last week was of Call of Duty Black Ops 1 zombies. And as you can tell, I was getting absolutely torn apart. So I thought I would put out a new one with a little bit more effort and just to show you guys that I'm not a noob at these games and I can definitely make it past round 5 at least. For today's video though, while I'm surviving zombies on the gameplay here, I actually wanted to talk about a topic that is pretty prevalent in my life right now, which is surviving sales. Now, there's a lot of videos out there that's going to tell you how to be the best salesman, how to give you advice on how to, get more leads or make more money, and that's not going to be one of these videos. For me, I've always been an average employee. I've never been someone that has been always at the top or always at the bottom. I've never been one to make the most money out of everybody else, but I've always just been somebody that's kind of been in the middle, have made a good living and good income, and have performed pretty average within my sales career. So instead of giving advice on how to be the star salesman, I feel like today's video is going to be more centered on my experience in sales, being someone that just isn't really thinking too much about it. For me, sales is just a job, and that's it. Now, I obviously take it seriously, and I want to bring in money for myself and my family and to support them as much as I can. But I've never gotten too attached to a single job. When I graduated college, I spent 4 years in a degree of science. I was dead set on being a physical therapist, and I did all of the clinicals and the observation hours. And once I got to the point of graduating, I decided it wasn't a path I wanted to take. So I looked around a little bit, and sales seemed like the best next option. Even at 28 years old, I still feel like I haven't figured out fully what career I want to explore and want to really thrive in for the rest of my life. But I will say that the sales industry and the jobs that I've had and currently have right now, I feel like have supported me and the people around me that I supply for and help support. And I haven't had any real complaint. Now, obviously, anybody in sales knows that this industry is chaotic. One month you're doing amazing on your numbers, everything's perfect, and things are falling into your lap. And then the next week, there's a fire going on, the building is collapsing, and you have no idea where it went all wrong. Now, when I first started sales, that whole roller coaster of emotions that pretty much occurs monthly, weekly, and even daily sometimes, that used to really mess me up. I had days where I absolutely hated it. I had days where I absolutely loved it. And some days where I just kind of felt meh. But after being in sales for about 5 years, and it might just be because of the job that I'm performing now, which is more of like an outside sales position where I work from home and travel on occasion, but also can work from home and call people, set meetings, have demos over a Zoom call or something like that. I feel like the biggest lesson that I've learned is just to not take it so damn seriously. Now, obviously, I care about the work that I put out enough to where I don't want to get fired or look bad in front of my boss. And I also don't want to do the minimal work or quiet quit or whatever it's called, just because I don't really feel good about doing that. And also at the same time, that's not going to make me money at all. But I've just stopped caring about the outcome of it all. Obviously, there's so many factors in sales. And if you've been in the industry, you know where territory, timing, luck, talent sometimes all those factor in into your performance, and sometimes the odds are just not in your favor, sometimes they are, and it's really hard to predict. So I've always felt like if I just do an honest day's work, I strive to complete my tasks, and if my boss ever asks me to do something or call someone, then I'll be right there to do it as soon as possible. But I've never felt as if I don't stay after work for hours upon hours after and get overtime, or call people on the weekends and spend my time on the weekends doing sales, I feel like it's not that big of a deal. I'm still going to achieve what I need to achieve. I might not be the super top performer, and for me personally, that's okay. I'm still going to make money. If opportunities fall in my lap to make more money, then I will do that. I obviously put in the work to contact and do outreach, cold calling, prospecting, all that stuff. But at the same time, there's only so much, and those factors that I talked about earlier, especially luck, there's only so much that I can do to control those factors. Once I realized this and just stopped worrying so much about the outcome of everything, it's helped me really take control of one, my mental health within my job, but also just helped me take control of my day to day. Now, maybe that'll change if I get into a sales job where I'm just really in tune with it and things just feel natural. Obviously, different sales jobs and different industries do matter. I've also had roles where I've really liked the product and I've been able to talk about it and sell it really well. And there's some that I just don't really care about, but it's a good enough job that I can perform decently and just stay on that average cycle. So I guess the point of this video is obviously just to see if anybody can relate to just being an average worker in sales or really any industry. However, I don't want to scare people away from sales. Obviously, it is going to be a hard job, and doing sales in general is not for the faint of heart. You deal with a lot of rejection, you deal with a lot of feedback and criticism. But I would say that my biggest piece of advice for somebody that wants to take part and start a sales career is just detach from the outcome of what the sale will be, when it will be, who you're working with, and how difficult the situation might be, and just focus on learning. Learn sales. Learn the ins and outs of the strategies and the way to talk to people and create conversation and the art of asking questions. For me, especially after 5 years of sales, that mentality of just detaching and focusing on learning has been so helpful with regulating my stress within my job. And it's also helped me actually get more sales. And for anyone that feels inferior to someone that's doing better in sales, or if it's outside of sales, just someone that's doing better at the job and getting more recognition, it is something that you do need to see. It is something that you do need to be aware of. But don't get so caught up in comparison. You can only do what you are capable of. And that's not saying that you can't get better, because we can all get better and learn and expand on our knowledge, especially in sales. But especially with those factors that I mentioned before, such as timing, territory, talent, and luck, it's really hard to compare yourself to someone else. When you start comparing your performance to someone else, it is a factor of competition that does help you have more drive and push towards your goals, but there are going to be factors that are out of your control. I am no expert at sales or even in the sales industry or just jobs in general. But if you do want any advice or just want to vent and talk about your experience at your job, I would love to hear about your experiences down below in the comments, or I'm more than happy to set up a time to chat either in Discord or a private chat, however you would like to go about it. But I hope for anybody out there struggling with feeling average and not doing enough at their job, we're all in this together and there is money to be made. We will make that money at some point in our lives, but just keep trying to reach your goals no matter how big or small they are. And just take your time, have fun with the process, and just detach from all the bullshit and the things you can't control. And I promise you, it'll make a big difference. I appreciate everybody sitting around and talking with me today in the Free Think Dojo. Feel free to subscribe, like the video. Once again, comment down below. We'd love to talk to anybody coming across here. I hope everybody's having a good week as well. I don't know about you, but it is getting really, really hot near where I'm at. So I've been struggling with just making these videos sometimes because my computer gets hot. It's hot in my room. So then I just start sweating my ass off and it just gets worse and worse from there. So I hope everybody is staying cool. I know I'm trying my best. And hopefully we'll get through the summer without burning up. Appreciate your time sticking around the Free Think Dojo, and I will talk to you guys later.